everybody.
Oh, before I forget, I'll just press record just so we have I have me recording.
June.
June. There's June.
Hi, June. Yes, in here.
There's June. So we've got June and Megan and Linda and Doris and Nazrin and Pinnacle Consulting and Solutions. And Sean and Yolanda, hello. And Malada, back from Australia, the land down under. How was that? Was it good?
It was beautiful. Lovely people in Australia.
I bet they loved you too.
Oh, thank you. Good place.
Oh, excellent. And Dave and Julia and Laura and, oh my goodness, right, Aviar? Is it Aviar?
Aviaya.
Aviaya. Well, that was close. That wasn't too bad for me. Okay, and Craig and Kev and Sandra and Anna. And here comes Ian and Mai. Welcome. Welcome. Okay.
June.
Hi, Judy.
Finally.
Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
Love it. So, oh, hello. Just admit more people. So we'll give it a few minutes. There's always stragglers. Anyway, so there's quite a few people I don't recognize. So, who I was going to say, if you haven't got your camera already on, if you can turn it on, please. It'd be nice to see who I'm working with or whatever, rather than just have it on in the background. So, who have I not met before? Put your hand up if you've not met me before. Okay.
Me.
Oh, hello. Who said me? Okay. Sandra I've met. And Kev. My goodness. And Ian. Oh, here comes Lydia. And Diane. Yeah, that's great. My goodness. So many people. Oh, hi, Laura.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So we'll just wait for anyone else. There's Barbara. We've got Diane.
Hello.
Heike. Is it Heike? Have I pronounced that right?
Heike, that's close enough. You're good.
That is close. Yes. Terrible when you have names. It feels like you're insulting people. No, I certainly wouldn't wish to. So another couple of minutes. Oh, hello, it's Karen. Karen from Cuba. And there's a place I wouldn't mind visiting. I can imagine it's a little bit warmer in Cuba today than it is here in the UK. It's windy. It's been dark for about 4 hours already. Oh, winter is on its way. But there you go. It is the 9th of December, so it's not a great surprise. Kev, how are you, my friend? You all good?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah,
Good.
all good.
Still got the same hairstyle as me?
Hello, June.
Still got the same hairstyle as me, Kev?
I have, yeah. Went to the barber's today.
That's it.
Full back inside, all gone.
That's it. Do you know what? When I didn't have, normally I cut my own hair just because I just get a set of hair clippers. And one time they'd broken, so I went into town to the barber's. And it wasn't much different to this. And she said, so what would you like? I was kind of saying, well, what are the options then? She kind of like looked at me. I don't think she necessarily got my humour, but
yeah,
you know,
I asked for a Mohican when I go in. What would you like? I like a Mohican, mate.
Yeah.
I could.
I want the options for someone with this kind of hairstyle. Is there something?
Spit and polish.
Yeah. Yeah, spit and polish. Oh, you're so right. Hi, Yolanda.
Hello.
Looking forward to seeing you in Massachusetts.
Me too. I can't wait.
Excellent. That will be amazing. It will be
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
Me
And you know,
too.
5 months to go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not long.
Yeah, 5 months. That'll soon go. By the time we've got Christmas out of the way and etc. etc. So
Sure.
Bum.
Oh, I
Right.
recognise Linda. Hello, Linda.
Hi, Kev.
Hiya.
There's Linda. And we've got Lydia and Anna. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone I haven't said hello to. Don't want to not say hello to folks. Leslie. Hello, Leslie. Are you all right? Good. Okay. Right. What was in my chat box there? Cheryl here in Canada. Okay. Now, so if I briefly introduce myself, so you probably guessed, I'll be Andrew Codling. We have my good friend here, Judy Offenberg, next to me on the screen. So Judy just waved there. Now, Judy is a very fine trance medium in her own right. And I've worked with her many times on this journey of trance. Judy is going to be the moderator this evening. So when my spirit friends make an appearance, and if, and I'm sure they will, they offer the opportunity to ask questions, as in for you to ask questions of them, Judy will be the moderator. So the way we'd like it to work, if possible, is while the guides are speaking, everyone will be muted. If they say we would like questions, then Judy will ask you to raise your hand if you have a question that you want to ask. All right, so we're not talking questions of, is my mother there with you? Or will I win the lottery? Stuff like that. We're talking things, hopefully, of an uplifting nature, things that, you know, make us think and along those lines. But I don't want to tell you what to say because that's your choice. And so that if you do have a question, Judy will ask you to unmute yourself and then you ask your question. And then there may be a to and fro between the guide or guides and you. And then when they're finished, then if you just mute yourself again, and then if there's someone else that wants to ask a question, you can either use the icons to raise your hand. So we have them somewhere like there on my screen. So you can use that icon and then you can press the button again and it lowers the hand. And that's it. Now, has anyone not seen? Oh, hello, Heidi's. Here comes Heidi. We'll just wait for her. Yeah, there's a lovely energy, isn't there? I've been sitting listening, Malada, to something by Robert Monroe, who created hemisync. So that it's like hemispheric like synchronization, something that he started in the 50s or 60s. I'd just been listening to something that was weird. As I was listening, there was this this particular track had like it was like stereo waves crashing on a shore. But literally, as I was listening to these waves, it was like I could hear the sound moving from side to side in my head. It was literally like those waves were in my head. I was like, that's a little bit freaky, but it was really relaxing. It was quite interesting. I'm curious about hemisync and what it does and how it relates to relaxation or meditation or whatever. So yeah, but yeah, just thought I'd mention that. So Heidi, I did see a Heidi. I admitted a Heidi, I think. Oh, there's Doris. What's happening there? Okay, just get Doris in. Where's Heidi? I don't know if Heidi's disappeared. Okay, let's wait for Doris to join us. Oh, here's Karen again. I should imagine maybe the Cuban internet is maybe playing up. Let's see if we can get Karen. Oh, and Terry. Okay. So Heidi, do you want to just... There's Karen. Good morning or afternoon, Karen. What time of the day is it there with you?
Just left 2:30 in the afternoon. Hi,
2:30 in the
everybody.
afternoon. And
I,
how's
Well-
Cuba? Terribly cold?
Yeah, what? No, not at all. But welcome to internet Cuban style.
Yes. Well, just get the people to run faster. It's just like someone on like a treadmill trying to get it to go quicker.
Yeah,
You wish?
I wish, but there you are. It
Bless
is
you.
what it
Anyways,
is.
thank you for joining us. Really nice to see you. Okay, here's Ruth. Okay. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Heidi.
First few letters he wasn't bad, but then it gets harder.
Hi.
Extremely difficult.
Okay, right. I'm just gonna mute everyone.
Heavy
With this
cables.
background, I can hear someone chatting in the background. Don't know what's going on there. Let me just mute all. Okay. Right. Apart from Judy, you can unmute yourself. It just does it automatically. Now, for those of you that have just joined, I will be going into trance soon. Now, has anyone not seen trance? Put your hand up if you haven't. Okay, so we've got a room of experts. Okay, right. So you kind of know what to expect then, yeah? Yeah, okay. Now, where have I gone? I've disappeared off the screen. There I am. Okay. Now, what I want to do, Judy, is I'm going to put myself on spotlight. Is spotlight going to do it? I want to do it so that you see me maybe more close up. I don't know, is that a good thing? Do you really want to be seeing me that close up? I'm not sure. That might not be the best idea. Let's have a look. Let's see what my options are. Like, oh my goodness, yeah, that is close. Right. Uh-oh. Don't have the giggles, Linda. I can see you giggling. You're at the top of my screen. Don't make me start giggling. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'll take it off spotlight because I don't think you really need to see me. So let's put it on gallery. Well, it's up to you. Have a show of hands. Would you prefer it if you could see me more clearly, or is it really about what you hear? You prefer it if you see me clearly? Oh, God. Okay. Right. So be it. That was your choice. Right. How do I spotlight myself? Okay. There we go. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up in a little prayer. Not because it's a religious experience, but it's a spiritual experience. And I want to do that to set my intention. Okay. Great and divine spiritual friends and relatives, those that guide me, those that walk the path with me, to our dear friends that have joined from across the world, for the loving energy, for the humility and the compassion that we all share with each other. Come together this evening to make a connection to those who guide me. And I ask that those that work with me may uplift. They may bring together that sense of unconditional love, of brotherhood and sisterhood, that we all are truly one. That the physical loss may have separated us, but the presence of love binds us. I ask that that love can be with each and every one of you, and that you may feel it, you may become it. We may share this time together in the presence of it, with respect and love always. Amen. Okay, so the way I would work, goodness, I can feel that transition happening. The way I work is I'll have a few minutes, or however long I need to make that connection. Member of my spirit team, and invariably there's more than one that will speak this evening. they will entrance me. And where the conversation goes is entirely up to them. I don't pre-plan this. I'm not interested in what will be said. What will be said is what they want to speak about. All right, it's as simple as that. So let's have an uplifting, loving, spiritual experience. I want it to be a celebration of our connection and the way in which I can work with spirit. It may not be an area that you have thought about much, and it's not an area I ever thought about at the start. I had no idea what trance was, and it kind of found me more than I found it, but I'm really glad it did. And so for those that have worked with me over the course of the last year or however long, it's just my way of offering a little bit of how I work with spirit, and just to say it's a lovely way of bringing the year to a close from the teaching perspective. So I'm going to shut up now. The next voice you hear will be my spirit friends. Okay. Don't like seeing myself this close. I've got way more wrinkles than I remember having. Oh, damn it. Where's that filter? There must be a filter on here. Let's smooth it out. Okay. And relax. Well, what a beautiful opportunity, my friends, to join so many, to have this occasion, to bring our two worlds closer together. And how you radiate that presence of love. The true you. You are not the name that you carry, or even a persona. You are that aspect of spirit, radiating your light, your essence to us. We see you as you really are, and not as you appear to be. Appearances can be deceptive. In a time of apparent social media, I would question whether we ever really see the real person. Do you really know the person that presents themselves? Do you ever really get to know who they are? Or do we see an image, a costume, a presentation for the benefit of your eyes? Do we just see someone that wants to portray an image? And if we do not see the real them, then how are we to judge them? And we could say, should we judge them? Life is difficult at times. And sometimes we do not know how to assess whether a path is right for us. How to assess whether someone's motives are truly loving or spiritual. Because their mouth may say many things. They may say that they are loving and kind, but words come easily. Truth is felt. Truth is something that you experience not with your ears, but with your heart. You may say to me, who are you to speak to us? And I could say that I am of a tribe, and I bring wisdom. But that may not be truthful in the way it feels to you. But my friends, what I seek to bring to you is in some ways to show that life goes on. If grief has knocked at your door, and I would say that it has many times, what waits for us when we let go of that physical form? In many ways, what waits for you is what you create with your mind. Your mind is more powerful than you realize. The mind is the only way that I connect with the boy. My consciousness reaches to his mind for him to perceive me. But I do it with this chain of love. Love is that force. Love is the instinct that takes me to him. A reunion. A coming together of kindred spirits. If you ever feel lost in life, if you feel that you are alone, even if you are in a room full of people, you can still sometimes feel alone. Then imagine, become the greatest loving presence that you can visualize. See that as you send out a vibration, you will receive it. And people of a like-minded vibration will come into your life. You will get what you need. But there may be challenges for you to face. As an adult, sometimes we can think that our life is in some way fixed, that the direction can never change, that we are too old to face a new challenge. that we have to just sit with the status quo. But my friends, every day is an opportunity for change. Every day presents a challenge to you. But do you think that something would be given to you that you were not capable of surmounting? Do you think that you are so pitiful, so weak, that you are not capable of growth, of change? Some of you may have been faced with a nurturing environment that was cold, that was unsupportive. But let me tell you that you are loved beyond all measure, that you are cared for beyond all measure, that there are people around you who would support you if you are willing to allow that vibration, that energy, that intention into your life. That you are never as alone as you may feel. That your past does not define your future. It only defines your present. You are a result today of everything that has happened prior to this moment. But the next moment has not yet been experienced. So there is still the opportunity for change. Your thinking, it is a great power. It is like having a pen and writing a letter to the universe, this great consciousness, and saying, here are my wishes. Your thinking is a practical, real way of communicating. Spoken word is something that you need as a physical form. But if you are not physical, then you do not need to be heard. So when you send those thoughts, when you make those wishes, they are real. It is not to say that every wish will be granted, but every thought has a power. The thought goes somewhere. So consider the thoughts that you have from one moment to the next. If you think a bad thought about someone else, remember that thought started inside you, in your mind. Why allow your mind, such a fertile place, to be the birthplace of a bad thought? Because I guarantee you, that thought will have a greater effect upon you than whoever you direct it to. Because they may never know that you had that thought about them. And yet you carry it, you hold it, you keep it, like you are carrying rocks. Why would you want to carry rocks with you? To tie you? There are many who may inspire you in this world. Many you may look at and think, I would like to be like them. I like what they say. I like how they live their life. And yet what do they have that you do not have? Maybe what they have is the courage to follow their dream, to have an idea and go forward with it, rather than have an idea and say, well, I could not do that. I am not worthy. I am not capable. But every great action starts with a great thought. You must realize, my friends, the great power that you have. That you are the equal of those who guide you. That you're not the servant to spirit. We do not like that word. I am a servant to spirit. You are not a servant. In servitude to who? Who is this force that you are a servant to? You are a part of spirit. You are an aspect of spirit. But you are not a servant to it. Now, my friends, maybe you wish to ask questions. Maybe there is something you have been pondering. We wish to help you in some way if we are able. So my friend Judy, could you offer the opportunity, my dear friend?
Sandra, can you unmute? Thank you. You had mentioned that love is what brings us to him. Can you expand on what that word love means in your world?
Love is almost indescribable, my friend. Love is like a magnet between two attractive forces. Love is the feeling that we have as we gaze upon his efforts. Love is the feeling that we have as we look at you on the screen. It is the feeling you have as you look at your children. As the boy looks at his animals. He looks at them and there is love. Love is a force. Love is a power. Love is a state of being, a state of doing. Love is the feeling, my friend, when you do something for someone and you feel that fizziness, you feel that sense of purpose, that sense of accomplishment. Love is in the thoughts that you have. It is that state of being that says, I have found my true essence. What am I? Who am I? Am I a guide or am I just an aspect of love? Is the boy a boy? A husband? Is he an aspect of love? The answer is yes to both of those questions. You know, when you come to this time of year and you would buy gifts for people and you would wrap them and make them look pretty. and you would gaze at them as they opened the gift. And when you see the joy in their eyes, when you see the happiness that that gift has brought them, you see love in action. You see a state of being, a state of happiness. Love is a mystery to some people, but to us it is the force that brings us to the boy. Whether he is a medium or a beggar on the streets, that love is ever present. Whether he succeeds at his wishes or fails terribly, love is that force that binds us to him. When you look at people, you are conditioned to describe them as a man or a woman, a Christian or a Jew, black or white. But how about looking at them as the essence of love? Would you be looking at someone from a different country, or are you just looking at another version of yourself? Love is that state of being that has been lost to many people. Love is the thing that is missing from our actions. Humanity can be intelligent. There are many great accomplishments that have been brought into being. But where is love? Where is that force that makes me see a friend at every drop of my gaze? You learn to find differences in people. Maybe that is one thing that humanity needs to unlearn. In the same way that you would look at a baby and you do not see a nationality. You see this pure aspect of spirit within this human form. You do not discriminate against it if you are of a sound mind. But where on that path between there and adulthood does that person become someone that we learn to hate? It is when we move away from the presence of love and we start identifying people as nationalities, that we say that they have a religious or cultural difference. That is when we move away from our true spiritual nature. But I'm happy to say, my friend, that you live a good life, that you are loving in your intent, and that you do things for the right reasons. So maybe you are closer to what you strive to be. But there is always work, there is always room for improvement. I hope I've helped you, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Please raise your hand if you have a question. Someone has to have a question. Okay, Linda. Thank you, Linda.
That was very insightful and interesting to me, your answer about love. I felt great emotion when you were talking. How does the spirit world see how hate can be overcome?
Well, quite simply, my friend, become more loving. Now, of course, I jest with you, but let us say one thing. What is hate? What would you say hate is, my friend?
I don't really know because I don't feel I've ever felt it. I've felt dislike and not been happy about things, but I've observed people who seem to have a corrosive emotion that must be hate.
Yeah. Now, in these situations, as we look at people whose hearts seem to be empty, who seem to have nothing but a malicious nature, who are filled with sadness that has germinated within their soul, that has found a way of expressing itself. These people are deeply unhappy when they gaze out upon the world. They are looking for reasons to vent their anger, their frustration, and their unhappiness at those around them. That they have looked at the world and not seen opportunities, but seen obstacles. Rather than liking, they have sought to dislike. They have found many reasons not to find a kindred nature between them and those who they judge. But all of this behavior was learned. You do not be incarnated upon the earth with a hateful nature. It is something that you learn to have. And to learn something, you need to be taught. The child is an impressionable mind. It is like a piece of soft plasticine with which those influences around them can mold them in their image. If you live in a hateful environment, is it any wonder that you may grow up to be like that? If someone has been hateful to you, is it any wonder that you may be hateful in retaliation? This is where we have to think about what part of our mind, our consciousness, is controlling the reaction. It is the more primitive aspect of the mind, that animal instinct, that fight or flight, that sense of injustice, not in a legal perspective, but that animalistic reaction. And that comes down to the expectations that we have upon someone or a situation. If you have an expectation about how you would like a scenario to play out, if you have an expectation upon someone, it may be your spouse, a friend, your boss. If they do not reach and accomplish the expectations you have upon them, then there is a sense of failure, a sense of judgment. Maybe there is a sense of resentment, because what you want and what you receive are not the same thing. If this happens many times, you start to get into a train of thought where you do not like the results of people's reactions. If you deeply invest yourself in someone and they let you down, and hate can have a seed, a fertile bed of soil with which to grow. And then the mind becomes a very comfortable place for this hate to germinate. And the mind starts to create lots of stories, lots of scenarios that haven't even happened, only in the mind. If hate seems to be rising within you, ask yourself why. Ask yourself if your mind needs to be the fertile ground for any negative emotion. The answer should never, ever be yes. Your mind should never be a place where negative thoughts and emotions find comfort and solace. You may not agree with everything that happens, but you will agree that you will learn something from it. It is not a case of life being fair or unfair. It is cause and effect. It is an exchange of energy. There is not an arbitrary God who says that you deserve and this person does not deserve. The world that you see is the world that you create in your mind. What if you were the poorest person in this room? Is that the fault of those around you? Is it for them to judge you as you would judge them? Quite simply, you have a choice. Do you choose to react negatively, hatefully? Or do you choose a different path? Because there is always a choice. Do I answer your question satisfactorily, my friend?
You do indeed, and much more than satisfactory. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have 3 more questions. So the first one is Aviaha, and after you ask your question, please mute yourself again.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. You were talking about that every day is an opportunity to change, which made me think about that. Is there an outer world, or is the outer world only a reflection of pure consciousness or me?
My friend, when you say the outer world, do you mean the world that you observe?
Yes, exactly.
Now, if you were to take a poll of opinion, and you get 100 people maybe from your street, then you say to them, what is the world like? Do you think you would have the same answer from every person, my friend?
No.
Why is this so?
We have different perspectives.
There we go. Everyone has a perspective on what the world is like, based upon your expectations, based upon your mentality, how you see things, whether you see them with a critical eye or an open mind. There are many things that we cannot change in this world, even though we wish dearly that we could. But what we can change is how we perceive things. We are living our life through the senses. What you sense, what you feel, is how you experience the world around you. The choices that you make, the reactions that you have, they are a reflection of what you know and what you feel. You know that the sun will rise, yet you may feel great joy at seeing it rise. You know that night follows day, and you may feel great rejoicing that it is a time of rest. As night follows day, if you are of a different mind, you could mourn the fact that you did not get so much done. You could say, well, there is another day of my life gone. And in some ways it seems like it was a great waste. But you could reflect upon your day and say, I have had a day where I've learned many things. My body may be physically tired, and yet I come through this day with just a little bit more wisdom, a little bit more that I have learned along my path. The world as you see it is one that starts within your mind. But as you send a thought into that great consciousness that you speak of, know that it has a power, that there is a reciprocal reaction within that great consciousness. And you may say that synchronicity seems to follow this path, that you have a thought of a person, you have a wish and a desire, and it seems that those things come into your being. Was it just synchronicity? Or did you create that opportunity? Did your thought and another person's thought come together? And then, like those magnets, they are attracted to each other. Like minds, people of a similar conscious thought coming together. Have I explained to you, my friend?
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Does that make sense for you?
It makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Diane, you have a question?
Yeah, but Lydia was there before me.
She just moved away from the screen.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
ahead.
Okay. My question is following. Many people are sending or spreading love and healings in their direct surrounding to make a better world. And my question is, how can we help stopping the war going around the world? Is it enough sending love and healings, or is there more that we can do?
My friend, where love is sent with a genuine intent of healing, it can never do anything other than uplift and bring about a greater positivity into the world. Love is that great positive force. There is a time within this great consciousness when people search for something greater, when we move away from this almost automatic thinking. And eventually people will move into a way of considering things for themselves. Do not have an artificial intelligence think for us, because we become almost obsolete. The consciousness of the planet will arise. Their souls will need something more, something that materialism, convenience cannot offer. And it starts by the way that you see those around you. As you see your neighbor, your countryman, someone on a different continent. See them with love, and when you speak to them, you speak to them with love. Love changes people in ways that you cannot even begin to understand. But if you are loving, you will know exactly why I say what I say. Being a loving person changes even the most hateful person. If someone screams at you and shouts abuse, if you look into their eyes and you say, I love you, irrespective of anything you say, you disarm them. What can you ever say to love? Where love goes, it may not be consciously accepted, but it will have an effect upon that person. Subconsciously, they will feel it. Remember, when you speak to someone that is hateful, or if there is war in the world, your conscious mind is speaking to their conscious mind. But subconsciously, they will receive, react to, and know that they have been in the presence of love. So love must never be forsaken for a greater cause. Because what greater cause is there? We do not have to look at the world as right and wrong. We can look at the world as a place with love or without. But you know how it feels so right to be in a state of love. And how wrong, how it repels you when you feel in a state of hate. No person on those screens that I look at feels better for feeling hateful. So it tells you that your very soul does not want to experience this. Your soul strives to be what it has always been, which is loving. To be in that state of, you could say, bliss. Love is our true nature. No one ever responded well to hatred. Hatred never made a flower grow, but love did. Hatred never brought people together, but love did. It tells you everything you need to know. One day, in this great consciousness experiment, we return to love. We move away from the great pain that an earthly life gives us sometimes. And we return to love. And we see why the earth is such a wonderful place to learn. As it presents so many challenges that are not in the place that we currently reside in. A place of love and acceptance. I hope I have helped you to understand, my friend. I thank you for your question.
Lydia? Linnea, you have to unmute. Linnea?
Okay, thank you for the answer. Beautiful. I'd like to ask if do animals also have to grow spirituality? Do they have to get to know what they will have to do in the earth plane? And do they also tell how they have been treated on earth?
Now, my friend, animals have that beautiful consciousness that we are also blessed with. So an animal makes a conscious decision to have a life in all of its aspects. Some animals have made that decision to undergo what is quite frankly a brutal existence. Everything that has consciousness has awareness. The tree that turns into a book had consciousness and awareness. As we look at the mycelial network of fungus, it is conscious of a threat and allows that the conversation to run through the network. And it warns people that are not in immediate danger, that there is danger. That shows consciousness, awareness. Animals are no different. In many ways, we would say that animals are more conscious, more loving, more true to their nature than humans. Humans seem hell-bent on finding ways of not being human, not being conscious, not being aware. An animal has two aspects to it. Its drive for survival, to reproduce, to eat, to survive. But an animal that has a life and existence with human consciousness, this is an animal that grows, that moves away from the herd or the pack. It is a consciousness that is expanding, learning, consciously aware of you and you of it. When the boy had his dear spirit friend, his beautiful dog, leave his physical form, that consciousness, he made a decision to return. And he returned to his home. He returned to his family. He was conscious of that love that he felt. He was conscious that he wanted to return. Animals are a beautiful aspect of the spirit world. They are there to teach you what it is to truly be human and to truly be cruel. We wish mankind had something of an animal's consciousness sometimes. Instead of mistaking intelligence for spirituality. But to answer your question, my friend, animals are very much conscious of your thoughts, your actions. They are able to make decisions. They are an aspect of this great consciousness that we are all part of. I hope I have answered your question, my friend.
Yes, thank you very much for your answer.
Thank you.
Okay, the last question is Nazarene Funk. I don't know what your name is, but that's what's on your screen. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. My question is, in a world full of people, why is it so difficult to have local friends who would be present and reciprocate our love and care?
Well, what we have more than anything, my friend, is that wonderful aspect of free will. And so we can seek to have a life that we visualize for ourselves that would be nurturing. And that is good. It is wise to have a dream. But we have to ask ourselves this question. Does everyone share our dream? Do they all share our wishes? Does their path align with yours? How far are we willing to go to find a compromise that is near what we wish to have? That may need some degree of flexibility in order to find community. What I would say, my friend, there is one way that is guaranteed to find you friendship. That is kindness. When you offer your kindness to someone, when you are charitable in your nature, and it could be charitable just with time, people respond to kindness. People respond to being listened to finding that someone wants to hear what they have to say. Find people that need someone to listen to them. Find people that need help. Maybe it is cooking a meal and opening your home to people that you know, to find the real you. There is nothing that a person likes more than a full belly. And so that you could use food as a way of saying, welcome into my home and into my heart. Finding a way of expressing your humanity and kindness. Sometimes when people look at us, they think they know who we are, but they only see that persona that I spoke about at the beginning. They see the person that they think is there, but maybe they do not see the real you. Maybe allowing the real you to come to the surface is not easy. But life was never designed to be easy, if it was designed at all. Life is about action and reaction. So if we act in a kind way, people will react to our kindness. And that is not for 1 second, my friend, to say that you are not a kind and gentle soul, because I know you are. Sometimes we look in the wrong direction for the answers. Maybe we just need to look slightly left or slightly right. But a smile, when you look into someone's eye and you really look at them, that can be a great gift in itself. And then we realize we have found those who we resonate with, those who are aligned to our path. I hope I've helped you in some way, my friend.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, beautiful guides. I feel that's all the questions that are here for you.
Well, so do we bring it to an end then, my friend?
Yes.
I think so. Very well. Now, my friends, there have been many perspectives shared with this boy. What does not resonate with you shall be allowed to flow down the great river of life, to settle at the banks of someone else. What is said through him is merely the perspective of you, but it is our perspective. These are the words that we wish to share, that we wish for you to hear. Within this group that we see, there is great spiritual growth, great opportunities for you to do something beautiful, for as many people as you wish to influence. In a time of influences, and be the most loving, tolerant, and compassionate influencer you can be. Influence them not by your words, but by your heart. Allow your actions to speak directly to their heart. And you will bring growth to you and them in ways that maybe you have never considered. As we come to a time of celebration, within a greater time of turbulence, it is easy to pick a side. It is much more difficult to not take sides, to see that those around you are people like you, to see the humanity in those who maybe you feel indifference to. We come into the world innocent, without any understanding or consciousness of the world we have arrived in. And then life happens. Love happens, loss happens, learning happens. All of these things can take us away from our true nature, but your true nature is love. It may seem like life drags you far away from a loving way of feeling, but your true nature is love. It always has been and always will be. As you celebrate this period of the year, look at those that you disagree with, whether they be in your family or the world around you. Seek to make compromise. Seek to make peace. Wars are not won, they are just stopped. The great success is finding a commonality between you and them. Sometimes this is not about saying who is right or wrong. It is about understanding compromise and acceptance will achieve the same thing, which is harmony. My friends, thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for your time, for your love. I hope that in any way possible, that you feel love within everything that you do, that your loved ones are in the embrace of that love, and that one day we may speak again. And we look forward to that day. In the meantime, know that those that work with you, those that guide you, they are bonded to you by that power and expression of love. Always. Thank you. Big screen. Oh, that's better. Okay. So, hopefully there was something for you, and it made sense. Does anyone have any questions? Especially those that have never seen me work before. I may have made you more confused than ever, but I'm really happy to take questions. I'm in no rush. It's a weekend, so feel free to unmute yourself or stick your hand up and ask questions. It's up to you. No, you're just looking to go. Something good on telly, yeah? Got shopping to do. Yeah, Kev, are you putting your hand up or waving or exercising?
All of it, mate. All of it. All in one. Multitasking.
Good man.
I was going to ask a question of your friends here, but what I've been very much aware of people who've been also telling me that their energy, 1 minute everything's working fine, and then it just goes off a key, and then it comes back in again, and it's like wavering. And also I find that with my connections with our friends as well. 1 minute it's really strong, and for no apparent reason, the next time you sit, it's and everything's and the people I speak to, I mean, they've been doing it for a while as well, but it just doesn't seem to have that same connection on the second time. Or they might work, it might work for 2 or 3 times, and the next time it's just fluffy, so to speak.
Fluffy, I like that.
Yeah, fluffy, yeah.
So when you're sitting and you feel this change in the energy, and it's not as intense, are you sitting on your own or are you sitting with other people?
Well, with myself, it's on my own, but also when I sit with others.
I mean, just talking from personal experience, because I don't know what the spirit world would say on this, but my personal experience is when I find that my sitting or my connection doesn't feel as oomph
that
I want it to have, I find that there's probably something in relation to me and my mindset and where I've started the evening.
Okay,
or the morning or whatever. I find that if there is an issue, it won't be from the spirit side. I think that it's usually something that's going on
the
with me.
physical, yeah.
I don't even think physical, to be honest. I mean, it could be, but because it's a mind-to-mind process, isn't it? Certainly when we're doing trance and anything that comes through our mind, I find that if I haven't given it enough time, like if my preparation for a reading or something hasn't been good enough, then I won't feel it clearly enough. It's like I don't give myself that opportunity for them to really kind of dig their claws into me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible expression, but it really kind of is how it feels. So just for me, I think that sometimes I don't give them everything they need. All right. And I think sometimes I'm like, that was a bit, and that doesn't happen very often. But also what I have noticed is when I sit for fizz, especially, and you're in a really heightened state of awareness, I really feel sometimes I can know person by person what sort of day they've had. I feel that intensely.
Yeah.
I can know that they're not in the right mindset. I can perceive the thought coming from them about 2 seconds before they say it. And you just know as soon as they walk in the room, it's like you're plugged into their consciousness, and and you think this is going to be difficult. And then I'll say straight away, we need to have this type of mindset. So sometimes, mate, it's as simple as the people that we're with might not be in that mind space that you need them to be in, because you will be really sensitive to it. That's just personal for me, mate.
Yeah, I can't speak for the others, of course, because I don't really know what's going on in their lives.
Sure.
But for myself, well, yeah, I have looked at that as well.
Yeah.
And I've also asked upstairs
I mean, what I would say as well, though, tell me about what you were what you were doing, what was your intention at the time when you felt it?
Oh, the intention was to sit for the spoken word, yeah. for the
Right, okay.
spoken
And so
word.
was it the same the previous time that it felt strong?
Yeah.
Right. So did you find that it used to be strong, but now it seems to be getting weaker, or do you find that it fluctuates week to week?
No, it fluctuates. I wouldn't say week to week, but it's definitely changing.
So would you, I was going to say, one of the things that I would say is I found that physically, in the earlier days when I first started to develop the trance, I found physically they felt stronger. I felt them physically more strongly in the early days than I do now.
Mm.
Now it seems like sometimes I'm like, where are you? And I'm kind of searching, and then they literally like wrap themselves around me like a snake. All right. And I just feel that squeeze of them around me. So I would say that I used to have a physically stronger connection back in the early days, and I don't have that anymore.
Yeah, well, I'd understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but you know, as far as you're concerned, I mean, Kev, you're a tutor just like I am. So sometimes I don't want to teach you to suck eggs, mate. But
No, it's no.
so you know, that's just my thoughts, mate. I mean, I've watched you work, so I know how you are, and you know, you've got the connection that absolutely you
Yeah.
aspire to have.
Well,
some days just aren't good, mate.
Well, yeah, I did say that to them, you know, because sometimes we do have a bad day, don't we, at work
Yeah,
and things,
sure.
and that's going to affect your energy. And you know, we are human at the end of the day. You know, sometimes somebody will say something to you, and as much as you want to ignore that, anyway. I see there's more questions, but
Yeah, what I would also say, and Linda wanted to add to that, I think. So what I would also say to that is when if you're sitting for a particular thing like the trance speaking, the degree of control you allow them to have before you start speaking, I found that that can make a big difference too. So sometimes it's like I feel their presence with me, and if I start speaking straight away, it's like they're holding on for dear life, but they're not really giving me that intense connection. Whereas if I keep it steady, keep it going, blend,
yeah,
blend, and then I find that I've got a better connection. So sometimes I can be a bit too quick off the mark. Not nowadays, but
yeah. Well, I understand about giving them the time to for the blending, but
so I don't want to tell you, mate, because you know as much as
no,
I
it's
do.
just a question because
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's sort of.
Can I just add? I used to have that same feeling that sometimes it wasn't as strong and everything. And when I had a word with my guides, they said it was more to do with the environment than me personally. And I always, when I'm working, I'm usually in my own space, in my flat,
Yeah.
as opposed to being out and about. And I couldn't understand, but they said it's an energetic thing. All sorts of the environment can affect it. And I now know sometimes I can just sit here in the quiet, you know, the people are here, whether I'm doing a reading or a trance reading, and it's just there. Another time it's like I know I have to perhaps put a bit of music on, you know, get the environment right.
Yeah.
And that sort of, it's always like that same level now.
That's a good, interesting point. I'm glad you mentioned that because I know, like, when we were at Mining this year, working with like Billy, absolute piece of cake, doddle. Other people, it was like, ugh, it was properly an effort. So, it does depend on the communicator. I'm really glad you said that. So I'd be interested to know if you were connected to the same guide, Kev, because I certainly know, like, because if it wasn't the same guide, then they have a different ability and they will feel different in the way that they can connect to you. Because that is why I always have the same guide start speaking, but usually they interchange. So the guide will make a big difference because
there was a new one last night. Yeah.
Right. There you go. Suddenly the penny dropped as Linda was saying it. I'm like, oh, quick.
Yeah, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed anymore.
No,
Me
it's all
neither,
a
mate.
learning. It's a learning, isn't it? Unless they
Of course it
tell
Oh,
is.
well, yeah, but I should have known that, shouldn't I? It's not, you know, it's not.
Good. I'm glad we cleared that up. Thank you. Now I've got to try and pronounce your name again. Aviaya.
Aviaya. Yeah,
Aviaya.
Aviaya. Hi. I'm fairly new to this area, but I would love to have some advices about what I do on a daily, weekly basis to have a good, strong connection with spirit, or channeling, or do the trance. Is it meditation, or what can I do for myself?
Well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, one of the big questions that certainly a lot of students seem to have is there's a sense of doubt sometimes about whether we're connected to the spirit communicator or not. I know that sounds like a crazy simple thing, but dedicating some time, and so anyone that's worked with me will know that I talk about this quite a lot, dedicating some time where you just sit in awareness of you and your own energy. Just for 5 minutes is enough. 5 minutes in a day. So before I did a sit-in, if I just sat in awareness of my own energy and just say to myself, Andy, how are you feeling today? How's things? Where's your energy at? What are you sensing? What are you perceiving? And then after, say, that 5 or 10 minutes, you come to a conclusion. You might say, do you know what? I feel pretty good. I feel calm. I feel just aware, and there's nothing that's particularly taken my attention. So then we say, for example, I want to connect to my trance guide for them to speak. So then you expand your energy into the room around you. And I'm not going to take you through a guided meditation or nothing, but you expand your energy into the room around you. Then you set your intention to say to your spirit friend, I want you to connect to me. And then what you do is you perceive the change, the transition in the energy, so that you're moving from this state of, I wasn't connected, yet now I can start to perceive from the left, the right, back, behind, in front, whatever. I can start to perceive this merging of this energy. And because you'd already dedicated a little time to know how you were feeling, you will then become aware of this transition, and you will know that you're starting to connect to someone. And so that we can start to breed like familiarity between you and your spirit friend. And so that you can say to them, it's like, connect to me, and then disconnect. So you can say to them, come closer. And then you sit there just for a couple of minutes and say, okay, that was good. Connecting to you, I feel X, Y, and Z. And then you can say, I want you to move away. And sure enough, they will move away. And then you may find that that energy feels very kind of neutral. And then you think, yeah, there's not really anything there. So then you say, well, was it my imagination? And it wasn't. You say, come closer. Feel this transition. It's like someone walking towards you and giving you a hug, giving you a cuddle, and you feel it. And so then as you start to feel this transition, you start to know that when you ask for something to happen, it will happen. And then you say to them, I want you to step away from my energy now. And you go into that like neutral state of being. So the reason we would do that is that once you have confidence that you know how to communicate with your guide or a loved one, you could do this for a loved one too, you start to understand that this doesn't happen by chance. I do not connect to my guides because they want to connect to me. I connect to them because I ask them to. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a really, really good way of building up trust and understanding of how you work with your spirit friends. And it doesn't matter if you don't know who they are. You can give them a name if you wish. You can say, right, you're called Bob. You're called Tom, Dick, and Harry. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you understand that you're going in from this, we're separate, we come together. Yes. Then we're separate, and we come together. So there's this transition all the time. It is a dance, it's a partnership, it's this coming together. So that's a really good thing to do. Yeah, anything else?
Yeah, I actually felt several times that they have been trying to speak through me.
Right.
And this letting go of letting another one just, speak,
Yep.
Stepping back, or
Right. This stepping back thing, let's forget that phrase.
Okay, good.
I hate stepping back. No. Do I consciously step back? No. Step back to where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. We'll get one thing straight, and this is to everyone. You are part of the process.
Okay.
All right. It's not about taking you out of it. It's not about them placing you in a room. I don't need to be part of it. True trance is where it's only the guide and you're not aware of anything. Rubbish. If you say that, you don't understand as much as you think you do. All right. I'm sorry, I'm being brutally honest there.
No, that's
but
good.
That really is the case. The reason I say that is I know from personal experience, I spent a lot of time, wasted time, where I thought it was about me. Somehow, mysteriously, magically, someone was going to take me out of it. This phrase that I had repeated to me like a mantra, oh, it's when they take you out of it. Rubbish. It's not. Is where you recognize their influence and you are willing to start a conversation. All right.
Yeah.
So when I worked tonight, I can't remember what it said actually. But I know I felt their influence getting stronger and stronger. It was like that snake wrapping itself around me and constricting me. I felt them closer. That's a weird analogy, but that's how it feels. I knew at that moment I have to physically open my mouth. But as I start talking, that is them like holding on to me, and they start driving the conversation. So it's coming from them. But I'm aware of words in my mind. I'm aware of a train of thought, but I'm not unconscious as that happens. All right. And because I spent so long thinking that that's what I needed to be, unconscious, I never had a conversation. I took far longer than all of the people that I've ever taught because no one told me what I needed to hear when it was really important to hear it. So that's why I spend so much time emphasizing it, because it hindered my development for a long time. All right. But my tutor didn't know what he was talking about. Luckily, I met one that did. All right. And the rest is history. So I hope that answers your question.
It did indeed. Thank you.
Perfect.
That was lovely.
Megan, thank you for your patience. You've got your hand up. What would you like to say?
Yes, thank you for your time today. I was wondering if you could speak to the vocal changes that you experienced, and at what point in your development did you notice that happen? Was it the first time you spoke, or?
I think it probably was the first time I spoke that I noticed it. Now, there's an important thing to mention here. Having vocal changes is like a personal experience that you will have with your guide if you need to. All right. Now, I know certainly when you watch Judy work, Jude is very much different. Obviously, Judy's a lady. She speaks in a certain kind of way. And when she's connected to her guides, you go, my goodness, that's a different person. That's a different voice. Now, that consciousness of your guide, what they're trying to do is to fill more of that gap within your consciousness, within your awareness, with their presence, and you are kind of gently nudged to one side. So what they're not trying to do is get rid of you, but they're trying to be more in charge. You are welcome, Diane. They're trying to be more in charge. Now, if we're a control freak, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I'm kind of learning not to be. But if we're a control freak and we feel suddenly that this voice goes from being very feminine to suddenly it drops much deeper, and you're like, oh, hello. I felt this urge to speak really more deeply or whatever, or in a different accent even. Allow it to happen. allow them to have a voice, and they will find a natural way of connecting with you. And so it may be that the first time you feel this, say, deeper voice, and it's like we go from speaking like this to something like this, and you're like, oh, hello, that voice is deeper. But as they get a practice, as they get the opportunity to keep doing it, you may notice that it levels off and you find a very natural way of the voice being expressed. But the guides have that their consciousness will affect you in different ways. That's why a guide sounds like a guide. The different guides sound different. Well, they certainly do with me. And so that all I do is respond to their influence. I never try for it to be anything. I literally just talk, and the voice that comes out is the voice that their consciousness that is working through me. And so, because I'm not here to do impressions, what you hear is how the spirit world through me as the medium and my vocal cords, that is my body's reaction to them. That's why the guides don't sound the same. The subtle differences. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You are more than welcome. It's a great question. I was obsessed with that, by the way, sounding different. I thought if I didn't sound different, it wasn't trance. Wrong. If my voice didn't change at all from what you hear now, that does not mean I'm not in trance. It means my voice didn't change. That's all it means. All right. So don't anyone get too caught up in that, because it doesn't define whether you're in trance. Because if I closed my eyes now and said, hello, I am Big Chief Running Bull, blah, 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 blah. That does not mean I'm in trance. That means I just put on a voice. Because what was missing from that experience?
Energy.
Presence of spirit.
Presence, yeah.
If spirit aren't present, it doesn't matter what voice you're putting on for me, you won't convince me you're in trance. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the presence of spirit. If the voice changes, thumbs up. If it doesn't, thumbs up. Good question. Lydia. Don't make me try and lip read. I'm terrible. I'll misinterpret it.
Sorry. What I would like to ask, last week I had another moment of speaking in tongue. Does that relate to trance, and what do I have to do with it? I mean, it just happened again.
Well, honestly, I've never experienced it myself, so I'm not really going to be able to give you a qualitative answer. What I would say is I only aim to allow spirit of voice when I consciously ask for them to do it. All right. It never, ever happens by chance. All right. So if you do not recognize the language that is being spoken, and you're not working with anyone else that would recognize the language, then I would question the point of it. Because why? If you were speaking in fluent Dutch to me, I'd just be sitting there going, you could be telling me a Chinese takeaway menu, or you could be talking about. So what I'm saying is, if the voice coming out isn't understandable by you or someone that you're working with, then I would discourage it and say, look, you need to either speak in Dutch to another Dutch person, or you need to speak in English if you're speaking with an English person.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
But the reason for it happening can also be down to you're very, very new to this experience. It can also be that your spirit friends are actually trying to find that way of connecting with you and having a voice. All right. So it may be that it's getting plugged into the wrong place, the connection, and there's a degree of learning on both sides. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But what I would do is when you're sitting for it, I would say to them, this is what I want this evening. This is what I want you to help me with. And be insistent on it, because you are the boss.
Okay, thank you.
Both on this world and with the next world, all right? You're the boss.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Mai, hello.
Hi, hello. Can I sit and when I practice?
Yeah.
Can it be in the same room as I do healing? Or does it doesn't matter?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. all of my spirit work, anything that's online is always in this room.
Just because
Yeah,
I
sorry.
was told you have to sit in a separate room and only when you do sit. Yeah.
No, I don't know why they would say that. What if you lived in a one-room house? Does
I
that
know,
then mean
I
you'd
know.
need to buy a different
Mhm.
property to go and do some trance?
Mhm.
No, I mean, that's just really unhelpful for you, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
There is you, and there is the spirit world. The only thing that changes is your request of them.
Mm.
All right. So I don't know why that person would have said that, but believe me when I say it matters not. Spirit
yeah.
want an opportunity to work with you. They're not worried about your accommodation issues. All right. So that's just weird.
No, it was just about mixed energies or whatever.
I
But
was
if
told
it's-
that, Andy, as well, years ago.
Yeah. Well, I would say the same to them. So I don't know why someone would say that. Oh my goodness. How many rooms can we have? Look. Yeah, I'm not even going to carry on that. It's fine, Mai. Really don't.
Right. No.
Anyone else have a question or comment? You're just looking to get away. Right, look. Interestingly, so what did anyone observe anything as you watched me work, or any observations that you want to share? You can if you. It's up to you. Or are you just desperate to go now? Yeah, Sandra, it's fine.
At the beginning, excuse me, if you look at the recording afterwards, I saw lights coming up from the bottom and to like, so I did see a couple as you were going into it. The other thing, I did want to add a comment about what you just talked about the sitting in the same room and things like that. I think we just have to trust like if something is being told to us that it doesn't feel right to us, then look somewhere else and find another answer, because I did the same thing. I was told there's been many limitations that have been put upon me over all the years of study. And I'm like, why was I told that? It's so limiting. So it's just trust what your inner self is telling you.
Yeah. If it feels like it's stupid, then it probably is. So, I mean, if you felt to question it, then there's probably good reason for it. So I'm glad that you said it, because what do? What am I going to do? Sit out on my landing and just say to my wife, "Oh, I'm just going to do some healing here because I can't do healing in the trance room." My goodness.
But it was a British medium who told me.
Well, what can I say? Stupidity knows no international boundaries.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. But I did see lights. So
I mean, I just don't know what to say. But look, you do hear a lot of stuff. But one thing I will always be is honest in what I think. All right. I don't want to be disparaging to whoever said that, but that's just unhelpful for you. All right. And for anyone else, spirit want to work with this. You know, I'm being funny, but when people in this room, when I'm sitting for fizz and this room takes on different proportions and then the ceiling seems to disappear, then what's happening there? We're not even working in a solid room as it is. Not when you can look up and see stars. So allegedly there is a ceiling there and then a roof above that, but people look up and see stars. All right. So weird things happen when the spirit world is involved. So I'm led to believe anyway. Anyway, any other questions or comments before we bring it to a close? Okay. So look, a massive thank you. Yeah, sorry. Oh, Linda, Karen even, and June's got a hand up.
Yeah, it was just lovely to see you work, and I can't wait until I can rejoin another one of your courses.
Absolutely, I'm chuffed to bits that you joined.
And good to see some familiar and new faces. Thank you.
Yes. Craig, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Look, there's lots of new faces here. And June, what are you going to say, June?
All I was going to say was just thank you for a lovely evening. It's been really informative, uplifting, and lots to think about. So thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you to all the people that asked the questions.
Yeah.
I can never think of a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Been there, done that, sat there and gone, I literally don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But
lovely.
look, it's really, really good from my point of view to see so many new faces. It's wonderful. You've probably guessed I do like trance a little bit. So that'll be apparent. If you're interested in following what I do, you can find me on Facebook, and I will chat till the cows come home about trance. So if you've got questions, send me a message. You don't have to be on a course. It doesn't cost you anything. I just want to share my love for it. And if you feel like joining me for any particular reason, boredom, learning, whatever, that's fine. All right. But other than that, thank you so much. I'll just do a little closing prayer just to bring it to a close. But it's just really wonderful to meet many new people. So I needed to say that. So, oh, gone itchy. Now, great and divine Father, great Spirit, it's a beautiful opportunity to meet new people and to share the love of something so beautiful. I hope in some way today that we have uplifted, motivated, or given food for thought to those that have joined us. I thank each and every one of them sincerely, and I hope that them and their families are blessed in every way possible, and that the holiday season and this new year bring new opportunities for growth and for love. Amen.
Amen.
So, thank you, ladies and gents. I am really blessed that you have joined me, and I will leave you free to go into the ether, wherever else you're going back to. And if you want to stay behind and chat afterwards, I'll be here for a short while if you need to. Otherwise, I will see you some point in the future. All right, I'll have the recording going up on my YouTube channel at some point in the next couple of days, maybe tomorrow. All right, so you'll be able to watch it back if you want to. I'll stop
Thank
recording.
you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.